I'm Robert McCready at Evening Magic on Twitter. Scott Presler is a Republican Party activist. He defeated Hillary in 2016, organized citywide cleanups in Baltimore and Los Angeles, registers a lot of voters, drives around a lot, is very tall, has very long hair, and over 1 billion followers on Twitter. Thank you, Scott Presler.
Thank you for the opportunity, all the way from South Carolina, in case you guys couldn't find out from that wonderful accent.
And where are you zooming us from?
I'm in Northern Virginia, outside of the swamp in Washington, D.C.
What are you drinking right now?
A McDonald's caramel frappe.
I like the mocha frappe from McDonald's. I like to get the large.
I respect that.
Do you
It's
remember?
probably, huh?
Go ahead.
No, it's probably Hershey's, so it's sweeter. I'm just a little jaded because Starbucks, their mocha is more like, I can't describe it, more like chalky. And I like sweet like a milkshake. So I usually get the white chocolate mocha when I'm at Starbucks.
I have appreciated the mochas at Starbucks in the past, but I've Burger King had a really good mocha drink, a BK Mocha Joe, and now they have just a mocha iced coffee, which isn't great. But for some reason, I'll crave one. And there's also Burger King right next to my work, and so I'll sneak over there and get a sausage biscuit and the BK. Well, it's the formerly BK Mocha Joe. If you could go back in time 10 years ago, get the BK Mocha Joe. I thought it was like chocolate milk and coffee.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, I'm a chocolate milk person. So, and right now I'm drinking, just so the audience knows, I am having Brita filtered water. I'm going to get a Pro One water filter because it filters out fluoride. And I've gone down every conspiracy, and I don't want fluoride in the water. Um, but right now, hopefully, I won't turn into a frog or anything while I'm having this one. The Okay, so what exactly do you do?
Well, I launched an organization this year called Early Vote Action because I firmly believe that if Republicans wait to vote in November of 2024 for president, that we're going to lose. It snowed on Election Day in Nevada in 2022. The machines had errors on Election Day in Arizona. Harris County, Texas, and Luzerne County, Pennsylvania ran out of paper ballots on Election Day. And my argument is nothing has changed that would stop any of those things from happening again. Therefore, if our goal is to defeat Joe Biden and make him a one-term president, we must utilize an all of the above approach to voting. So I travel the country teaching volunteers, registering voters, getting people to sign up for the permanent mail-in voter list. And I'm getting out the vote for this November 2023 and in preparation to win next November in 2024.
Before you launched the business this time, or the organization, what was your job title?
Scott Presler. I mean, I work for myself and I wasn't even taking a salary. You know, I couch surf and I stay in people's homes and I cuddle with their dogs and cats. And that's been my life for the last couple of years since 2019. I mean, I don't really have a title. Some people call me a conservative activist, but I'm just a private citizen that loves our country. And I'm doing everything within my human capability to try to make sure that we're saving her.
In the bio that I wrote for you, I called you Republican activist.
Mm-hmm.
And because it seems that you're very pro party, and I've never seen you prefer one Republican candidate over another. What brought about your love for the Republican Party?
Well, I've always been conservative leaning. I mean, look, my biggest issue is definitely illegal immigration, and I will never understand how somebody could put somebody from another country's needs before our own citizens. When we have 500,000 homeless Americans and we have 50,000 homeless veterans on the streets, I think true empathy and compassion is taking care of my people first. And I don't think that's something that I'm ever going to apologize for. But I mean, yes, less government. Let's balance the budget. Let's have a secure border. Let's have a military that is powerful enough to make sure that other people don't want to mess with us. And, those are all ideals that I support. However, there's a difference between being a globalist Republican and America First Republican. And I definitely represent the America First banner.
All right, that's interesting. Were you always interested in politics?
No, no. I mean, President Obama really set a fire under my tush, and I realized that I was a part of the problem because I wasn't a part of the solution. So I started my community organizer journey because of President Obama. So thank you, Obama.
I remember when Obama beat McCain, the Republican Party said we got out ground gamed. And then in
Yeah.
2012, when Romney lost, they said we got out ground gamed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little bit disaffected. And I remember there were organizations like Rock the Vote, Get Out the Vote, Planned Parenthood, Acorn. And in the South, we have Black churches that get out the vote for the
Mm-hmm.
Democrat Party. When I came across you on Twitter, I thought there was all this stuff on the Democrat side, and then there was Scott Presler. Is that, I mean, is there anyone else? Are you the only one? It seems like you're the only one.
Well, I will say, and I am wearing a, where is it, TP USA shirt right now because Early Vote Action is partnering with Turning Point Action, the political arm of that organization. And actually, Tyler Boyer, who is the CFO, they have announced a partnership with my organization that they are committing $5 million to a ballot chasing statewide operation in Wisconsin. And that fits in with our mission at Early Vote Action because I'm focused on Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And so, yes, there are some structures and some institutions that are helping on the right, but we are nowhere near the infrastructure that the left has in terms of 501c3s and fours and voter registration operations and ballot chasing operations. We're getting there, but we have a lot of work to do if we're actually going to make Joe Biden a one-term president next year.
Where were you born?
Jacksonville, Florida. I am a Florida man.
Okay, I've been to the Pose restaurant in Jacksonville.
I'm
And
not sure where that is. I
um
moved, I moved away in fourth grade. So, I mean, I'm a Jacksonville native, but it's not like I grew up there as an adult.
okay, and you live in Nova now.
Mhm.
You live in Nova. You said yes.
Yes,
So, did you go to college?
I did. I graduated from George Mason University with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice and with a 3.63 with honors.
What year was that?
You can Google that. I'm not going to date myself and give away my age because I'm so youthful.
You are youthful. I was wondering, so you graduated and then you just went on the road, or did you do something beforehand? Like, how did it? Because you had to made something out of nothing. That's my perception.
I know. Well, usually you start with someone how they got started, and I could have told you my origin story. But basically, I graduated from college, couldn't find a job, applied to USA Gov jobs every day to everything under the sun, Parks and Rec, TSA, applying to be a police officer, walking dogs for a living. Then I went on to work in elementary school and President Obama gets reelected. And I say, Scott, you're going to get a job in politics. So I moved to Texas, help elect Governor Greg Abbott, moved back to Virginia, helped defeat Hillary Clinton, elect Donald J. Trump as the 45th president. My life changes forever in 2019 when President Trump talks about the city of Baltimore, Maryland. And I figure, well, I'm going to go organize a cleanup. We do. And then I think to myself, wait a second, why didn't I just do this everywhere? So I did. I traveled the country. I registered voters. I organized trash cleanups. I helped elect Republicans into office all across the country. And after 2020, which was pretty soul crushing, I think we can all kind of have our feels about that. Help train people how to run for office, school board members, city council members, electing mayors into office. Then after 2022, we realize, hey, we have to diversify our approach to voting, which is the impetus and the launch of Early Vote Action, which I am currently the spokesperson for today. And that's my story.
So if people want to help you, they should just donate to Early Vote Action.
Absolutely. Yeah, they can go to earlyvoteaction.com. Or, I mean, I'd love your time. I would love people's time over their money, honestly. And I really mean that. I would love people's help downloading the Early Vote Action app on your phone. That right now, at this very second, you can knock on doors. We have data for all 50 states. So, like Robert, if you had the Early Vote Action app and you downloaded it and you clicked on knock on doors and then you clicked on voters near me, you would have every Republican voter within less than a mile radius right where you live in your neighborhood. And you can go knock on their doors right now at this very second. Or you can download the Early Vote Action app and click on make phone calls and then click on unaffiliated voters in PA. And from the comfort of your home, help to register Republican voters in the closed primary state of Pennsylvania. Or I could send you a voter registration guide that you could set up a voter registration drive event where you live and get more South Carolinians to register to vote in your state. So, I mean, really, I would just love people's time. I want you to help. I want you to become an election day worker. I want people to put in the time now and preparation so we can win next year in 2024.
So it seems that maybe calling you a conservative or a Republican Party activist isn't all that you are, because it's not just party, it's about actually the general election, which, sad to say, seems like the Republican Party does not necessarily care about all the time.
Well, it's both. I mean, look, what people need to understand is if y'all are unhappy with the party structure, but you change from a Republican to an independent, you're hurting the party. You're hurting Donald Trump. You're hurting Ron DeSantis because in Arizona, California, Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, New Mexico, Nevada, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, you must be registered as a Republican in order to vote in Republican presidential primaries. And so, really, this is an education campaign. I want to educate people on the value of the primary process and registering to vote as a Republican and what it means to be an election day worker. So, I mean, I wear many hats, but I do believe that conservative activist fits me quite nicely.
Have you ever registered someone across party lines?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I register a lot. Democrats love me. I register lots of Democrats. I register felons. I I kind of have done it all at this point. But no, I will never turn somebody away. If somebody would like to register to vote with me, I will absolutely help that person.
Oh, so you won't necessarily change the Democrat from Republican if
Oh
they.
no, no, no. I mean, I will. Like if they want to go from Democrat to Republican, which I just did in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, that I got a Democrat to switch to Republican, certainly I would love to do that. But if somebody goes, Scott, I mean, I did. I was in Butler County, Pennsylvania, and a kid wanted to get registered at the college that I was teaching a lecture on, and he put down that he was a Democrat. I absolutely turned his form in for him and made sure that he was a registered voter.
That's extremely fair. It seems that you're very grassroots. And from what I'm hearing from you, what we see on Twitter and other social media platforms is exactly what we get. How do you reconcile being a grassroots person, who responds to DMs from a little old person like me with being, you know, with being like a big personality on social media? How do you reconcile that?
I don't think it's about reconciliation. It's just simply about I want to stay grounded. I want to remember where I came from, and I want to remember that I am no better than anybody else. I am Robert McCready. I am the mom that cares about stopping the sexualization of children in schools. I'm no better nor worse than anybody else. And it's important to me that I never lose sight of my focus, and that's making sure that we're registering people to vote, locking in every vote, and getting ready for 2024. And so that's why my direct messages are open. Other people, they may have closed accounts or it's only people who they follow, but no, my direct messages are open on every single social media platform.
How many direct messages do you get in a day?
Lord have mercy, a lot. I'm on 8 platforms. When I post on social media, Twitter, True Social, Getter, Telegram, Facebook public figure page, Facebook private, Gab, Instagram. So I mean, I'm posting every single time directly, individually on each of those, and I have direct messages on every single one of those platforms, plus emails, plus phone calls, plus text messages. So I mean, my life is constantly on the phone.
Have you ever been hacked?
No, I'm the only one, knock on wood. Let me knock on some serious wood quickly. No, but I also have things like dual, a variety step verification. So the only person with access to my phone is me. The only person, when you receive a message on Twitter, it's me. No one else on this planet has access or will have access to my Twitter account. Now, I know people may think that may hold me back in some instances, but I'm very protective of my social media.
Have you ever completely cleared your notifications on Twitter?
No,
So it always says 20 plus.
yes. But my notifications are turned off because, as you can imagine, if they were turned on, it would just be constantly buzzing.
Right. Yeah. I don't get any sound from text message and I don't have any notifications from social media. And the only people that text me are my mom. But it would just annoy me hearing that buzz all the time. What would you like the people who look up to you to know about your presence seemingly in their lives on social media?
I want them to know what my intent is. My intent is to help as many people as I can, especially helping to elect conservatives. I really want people to know that. Look, I don't care if you're supporting President Trump or Governor DeSantis or Nikki Haley or Vivek Ramaswamy. I want to help all of you because your success is my success and our ultimate success next November. That's really what it's about. I don't care. I'm not taking a side. If you're a Governor DeSantis supporter, I'll help you get a mail-in ballot. If you're a Nikki Haley supporter, I will register you to vote. I don't care. I'm just simply here to win, and I want my supporters to know that.
What has been your greatest accomplishment?
Probably, I mean, the way that I'm wording this, I don't want it to sound egotistical because that's not my intent. But it's a little things like when this woman named Becky messages me, a woman who has had great grief in her life, and she said that her communication with me helped put her on this path that a lot of that grief has been mitigated. And she texted me the other day saying that she was appointed to her school board. Or when a woman in Texas tells me, Scott, when I was getting cancer treatments, I would watch your videos to feel better during that time period. Or when a school board member in Ohio says, Scott, because of you, I ran for school board and I won, and now I'm a sitting member. It's moments like that that make me know the work that I'm doing is having a tangible difference. And even when it's hard to keep going, I know that people are in part relying on me, and it makes me keep pushing forward.
How does that remain an inspiration and not anxiety?
Oh no, I'm anxious as all heck. Because I sometimes feel the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I feel intense pressure that, and again, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. That's not my intent. But I feel like, but wait a second, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Or I feel like who's going to be that person cheerleading everybody else to keep going? And so I do feel obligation. I feel obligation to continue the work that I'm doing. So no, don't get me wrong. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I have the same doubts and feelings and wants and desires as everybody else. I'm human.
What keeps you grounded?
My mom and dad. I have really good parents. My ma and dad have been married for 41 years, 42 years this September, I believe. Mom and dad, don't kill me. And they're good parents. I hit the jackpot. My mom and dad love each other. They raised a great family. They have love for me. They're supportive. I couldn't say anything not even great about my family. I mean, I lucked out.
Are they Republicans?
Is the sky blue? Yes.
Do you
Yes.
have any Democrats in your family?
My mom and dad are devoted Donald Trump supporters.
Okay, that's cool. I know that we're getting close to the end. Um, and this is where the Paul Leslie Hour, who used to be a radio show that's now a cool podcast out of Charleston, South Carolina. And I think he interviewed Vivek a couple of months ago. He recommends giving over the last portion of the interview to the guest. So, Scott Presler, this show, Evening Magic, is now the Scott Presler Show. And this is your opportunity to tell the world, and maybe beyond the world, the other beings on the other planets that they say are coming down to the earth, and I'm got away from myself. This is your opportunity to tell everybody, and maybe 100 years into the future, whatever it is that you want to tell them. It can be about anything. It's your show now.
I'm gonna I'm going to keep it centered on what people can do at this very moment to help make sure that we're saving our country. So hopefully there is a future 100 years from now. Uh, you can go to earlyvoteaction.com, sign up as a volunteer. Again, please download the application, Early Vote Action. You can knock on doors immediately in your own neighborhood. You can make phone calls into Louisiana, Pennsylvania. You can slide into my DMs in the most wholesome of manner on Twitter or another social media application, and I will personally send you a voter registration guide teaching you the who, what, when, where, why of how to register voters. But most importantly, if you see that our country has problems and you aren't taking positive action to help solve those problems, I firmly believe you're a part of the problem. So I ask any of you that watch this and that you crave and desire the freedom that our founders intended for us, I hope that you'll do something. And I hope that you'll do it in a positive manner to help make sure that next year in 2024, we are defeating Joe Biden, making him a one-term president, and electing a Republican president next year. And that's my message.
Thank you, Scott Presler.
Thank you, Mr. Robert McCready. And yes, people, I do answer direct messages. That's why we're doing this conversation right now. because I foolishly allowed Robert my cell phone. And then he started texting me a whole lot. No, but it's all good. But notice I answer back, not always, but I do answer back. And that's why we're doing this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robert.